Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
It's our News Digest unit for today, and we're talking about something that's going on in Nepal. Although it's interesting because this person involved with this project in Nepal is actually from Taiwan. It's a woman by the name of Lin Nianci. Maybe you've heard of her. She is helping rural women in Nepal.
I think that's wonderful. We're going to be talking about how she's helping them learn how to read. Believe it or not, there are women in this world who don't have the opportunity to go to school and learn how to read. So we're going to talk about that. Focus a little bit more on that sexual harassment that has been in the news so much lately. And so we're going to focus, though, even though we're in Nepal, the spotlight, you could say, is on a Taiwanese woman, as Tom said, Lin Nianci, which is great. So let's get started. We'll read through this first, and then we'll be back.
Since 2013, the BBC has been running its 100 Women project, which highlights women's issues around the world. As part of this project, 100 featured women discuss the cultural and social challenges faced by women around the world each year. The 2017 list has been focused on 4 particular aspects: the glass ceiling, female illiteracy, street harassment, and sexism in sport. This year's 100 Women featured Lin Nianci from Taiwan for her efforts to help and empower women in rural Nepal. In this part of the world, women are often isolated during their periods. Some are even confined to cow barns. Periods are a taboo subject, and this has led to a lack of awareness about women's health. Women who can't afford real sanitary pads use bits of old fabric instead, which results in hygiene problems. In addition, disposable sanitary pads cause environmental issues. Lin, who had previously traveled in the area, set up Darti Mata Sustainable Workshop in 2013. She employs local women to make reusable sanitary pads out of natural cotton. These Love Lady pads are made on non-electric sewing machines. Moreover, they are reusable, so they do no harm to the environment. As well as giving Nepalese women jobs, Lin also gives them a voice. They can talk and learn about women's health and pass this knowledge down to younger generations, helping them break away from the tradition of keeping women at home during their periods. Things are certainly improving, as Nepal's government made this practice illegal in April 2017. What's more, Love Lady pads are not only used in Nepal but also sold in Taiwan, the UK, the US, and elsewhere, spreading awareness of Lin's inspirational work.
Okay, guys, we're going to talk about a pretty cool woman here from Taiwan, Lin Nianci, and she's been helping rural women in Nepal. So Nepal is pretty famous for its mountain climbing opportunities, I could say. My best friend went over there with her brother, and they tried to climb Mount Everest. Which one is it?
Yeah, that's
pretty scary stuff. They were pretty low on the mountain, but I just remember thinking, wow. Yeah, that's something I'd never do. So she's over there, though, helping rural women. If you live in the countryside, away from the city, we would say you're in a rural area, where you find a lot of cows and sheep and lots of grass and trees, but not a lot of big high-rise buildings and 7-Elevens, you could say.
Oh, yes. You sound like you're putting it down, but if you go to rural areas, yes, you're going to have fresh air.
Fresh air.
And you'll probably live a long time if you live in the cities. Oh, the air is so terrible.
Here's the best part of living out in the country. You can see the stars.
You can see the stars. You can see the galaxy.
Yeah.
You can see shooting stars. stars. You can see all sorts of stuff. You can even see UFOs, which you don't get to see too much in the city because people don't really look up that much. But we're not really talking about that. We're talking about Lin Nancy, who is helping rural women, people who live in the country, especially women in Nepal. I guess they've got some problems there. So since 2013, the BBC, British Broadcasting Corporation, has been running its 100 Women Project, which highlights women's issues around the world. Now, the BBC has many TV stations and radio stations and things like that. They also have websites and things like that. So I guess they're kind of focusing on 100 women who have made contributions to women's issues around the world. This particular program or series of programs highlights women's issues. To highlight something just means to emphasize that thing, to bring it up and make sure we notice it.
Draw special attention to something. You can go into a stationery store and buy lots of different kinds of highlighters. Those are those pens or pencils that have different colors. As you're reading a textbook, you might want to highlight a section. Well, when you're highlighting different things, you want people to take notice of it. And they're highlighting different women's issues around the world, problems or areas where it would be nice if we could improve those situations for women to make their lives better. So as part of this project, 100 featured women. If you feature something, it's like saying highlight, right? You feature someone, you just point them out as a special example. These women discuss the cultural and social challenges faced by women around the world each year. We're so very lucky to live in this highly developed country. Both of us as well, Tom and I come from America. Again, very highly developed. It's not the case, though, for a lot of very small, underdeveloped nations around the world. And so the idea is to go help the women that don't have access to some of the things we do. Now, the 2017 list has focused on 4 particular aspects. These are some of the issues that they're tackling or that they're focusing on. We've got the glass ceiling, female illiteracy, women who can't read, street harassment, just being outside. Sometimes women are harassed by men. Darn them. And sexism in sport. Sexism in sport. We, in America, with American English, we would say sexism in sports. But our writer here is a British fellow, and they like to say sport. If you ever watch CNN, you'll notice that.
You certainly will, especially if you watch the BBC. But in any case, these are the 4 aspects or the 4 areas they're focusing on here. The glass ceiling, which is like an invisible barrier in the workplace. Men get the promotions where the women don't. Also, literacy, where they can't read or write, especially for females. Street harassment, as you said. I did want to mention the word harassment can also be read as harassment, but that's primarily a British pronunciation.
I hear it like that in the U.S., so too.
Harassment.
I would say in the U.S., definitely it's harassment in the majority. But yeah, a lot of people like to say harassment. It sounds better.
And the verb is to harass. Have you been harassed or something? Are you harassing me?
Or to harass someone.
There you go. And so that's the third one. And the fourth one is sexism in sport. In sports, I guess they're probably talking about discrepancies in salaries, why the male athletes get paid more than the women.
Or the basketball teams. The men's basketball team in colleges and high school have more money than the girls' team. You know, they get to travel more, stuff like that.
Exactly. So those are the 4 things they're focusing on. At least they did back in 2017 last year. So this year's 100 Women featured Lin Nancy from Taiwan for her efforts to help and empower women in rural Nepal. So this is where a local girl comes in here, Lin Nancy. She's one of those 100 women featured, and she's from Taiwan, of course, and she's trying to help and empower women in the countryside of Nepal. So to empower means to give you rights that you didn't have before. I think in this particular case, the power to control their own bodies, to control pregnancies and things like that, to be able to be free to go to school and work just like men.
Yeah, believe it or not, we're going to talk about what happens to these ladies in Nepal when their period comes, which I learned long ago when I first came to Taiwan. There is I guess it's slang for period, which is more of a formal word, but we say 好朋友. 好朋友来了. So we say that in Taiwan. So what happens to these ladies? Well, it's not what happens to us. In this part of the world, women are often isolated during their periods. It's kind of something that's considered to be dirty and not where they don't want the women around, the public in general. If you're isolated, you're alone. You're usually set apart from other people. A particular location can be isolated, meaning it's far away from any city or services. Sometimes film crews go to isolated settings to film their movie. Well, if you're isolated during your period, you're kept away from most people while this is going on. Some are even confined to cow barns. If someone confines you somewhere, it means they kind of lock you up. You're not allowed to leave. When I was young and I was naughty, my mom would confine me to my bedroom. I couldn't leave my bedroom and go outside and play because I had been naughty. People are confined to jail, confined to prison. They're locked up and they can't get out. Their freedom is taken away.
And this is kind of low class here. They're actually imprisoning them or confining them to cow barns.
Yeah, they're with the animals.
Yeah, that's it's kind of low class there. And
that's
periods
bad.
Are a taboo subject, and this has led to a lack of awareness about women's health. So, yes, it's taboo. If something's taboo, it's something that is avoided in everyday conversation. There are a lot of things that are taboo, like talking about sexuality.
Giving clocks to Chinese people as a gift. That's
taboo. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Or discussing death or something like that.
Yeah.
Those are all taboo.
Yeah.
And I guess periods are considered taboo. Oh, we don't want to talk about that. We don't want anybody around who is having their period. That reminds me, I think the temples in Thailand don't allow women in them if they're having their periods. At least I saw signs to that effect when I was in Thailand about 20 years ago.
I told you, they consider it to be, dirty. So women who can't afford real sanitary pads are things girls buy to use for their periods. They don't have those. They don't have nicely packaged sanitary napkins. They're also called sanitary napkins, by the way. Instead, they use bits of old fabric, just material fabric that they use instead, and that isn't very clean, it sounds like. This results in hygiene problems, which is bad. Now, hygiene is just this idea that your life is clean. It's interesting. I was just asked to record something yesterday where they said, kids, brush your teeth, be sanitary. And I thought, we don't use it for your teeth. Sanitary and hygiene is usually conditions or practices where you're trying to maintain your health because you're being clean. But usually it's about, going to the bathroom, periods, the section down there, washing your hands, but not getting germs on you. We definitely want kitchens who are cooking food for people at restaurants. We want them to be hygienic. We want them to be clean.
Right, and you, of course, want to have good dental hygiene as well. Brush and floss your teeth every day and things like that. And in addition, disposable sanitary pads cause environmental issues. Disposable means you use it once and you throw it away, like diapers as well.
Contact lenses.
They're disposable. Or disposable razors for men when they shave and you're done with it, you throw it out.
Yeah.
And that, of course, can cause environmental problems.
Trash.
It's a lot of garbage. Okay, that brings us about to the midway point for today. Let's take a break now and listen to our Chinese teacher.
Hi everyone, my name is Jenny. 今天我们要看的是第7单元新闻文摘里面提到的跟台湾有关系。我们要谈台湾一个很有意志力也很伟大的一个女孩子，叫林念慈。她做的什么事呢？好，这边有一个地名叫 Nepal 就是尼泊尔。我们就要来看看她的伟大。这个地方从2013年开始，英国的 BBC 这个广播公司，它有所谓的100大女性计划。那我们提到这个100 Women Project 后面逗点，然后接着写 which， 我们就知道这种非限定用法是一定要这样子的，因为一个专有名词的后面，你接下来要继续说明、补充说明、描述，用的就是一定要有逗点的 补数用法。好 which 当然自然就是指这个100大女性计划到底是做什么呢？好，下面就有进一步的说明了。这个100位被选定的女性呢，在这里她讨论的就是每一年全球女性面临的文化跟社会挑战。而我们知道接下来说到的这一年2017年特别有4个层面。哪4个层面？我们先看它第一个层面写的 glass ceiling。 我们看一下 glass ceiling， 其实我们中文里面就直接翻成玻璃天花板。但是什么叫 glass ceiling？ 如果仔细思考一下，玻璃它是透明的，但是它的确存在，你透过它可以看得到，但是它阻隔在那里，让你没办法真的通过。所以说有些女性她们在公司里的地位就是永远没办法被提升到主管阶级，例如这样，它其实就是有一个 glass ceiling 在那里，对女性来说好像是一个看不见的一个阻隔在那边。这是其中的一个议题。后面当然他还有提到了像女性的文盲，还有像性骚扰或者是性别歧视等等。那我们再来往下看到这一篇文章的主角，也就是林念慈。那我们注意到这里有一个动词叫 feature， 我们要了解他说到 This year's 100 women featured。 好， feature 这个字就是动词，表示以谁为特色，以谁为主角。好，所以这个 feature 这个动词其实很重要，当然它有时候是当名词来用，表示特色。Alright， 下一段就继续说明了我们提到的这一位主角林念慈，他在尼泊尔这个地方做了什么事呢？因为在尼泊尔，女性们只要遇到了生理期就被隔离。好，我们看到 periods 这个字其实很特别，通常我们在英文里面提到 period 是指时间，不过用在女性的议题里面，像这里注意咯，它指的是女性的生理期。那后面还有一个片语，就是说女性她被隔离，然后呢甚至于就被局限，被关在牛棚里。看到这里 are even confined to， 有些动词它当然有固定的介系词，当作局限来用的时候，不管是 limited 或是 confined restricted， 记得这些字局限的含义后面的介系词都是 to， 然后再加范围。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Oh, we're back. We had a very nice break.
We did.
Yeah. So here we go. We're talking about a really impressive woman from Taiwan whose name is Li Nianci, and she's in the country of Nepal, focusing on women's issues there. We also talked about how the BBC is running a 100 Women project and highlighting some women's issues around the world, putting a spotlight on them. As far as Li Nianci goes, we're talking about what she's doing in particular. So she's helping women who are often isolated and confined to places like cow barns during their periods and helping them come up with another version of a sanitary pad where it's not only recyclable or reusable, you can say, because they're not really recycling, they're washing them and using them again. But they're also taking care of the environment with these too. We are going to move on to the third paragraph here. Tom, take it away.
Okay, here we go. Lynn, who had previously traveled in the area of Nepal there, set up Darti Mata Sustainable Workshop in 2013. So she had traveled to Nepal. She probably saw the conditions of the women there, and she thought, hey, I'm going to do something to help these people out. I don't think this is right. I'm going to make my contribution to society. So she set up this workshop about 5 years ago called Darti Mata Sustainable Workshop. Darti Mata, I guess, is the local language there. Sustainable here is an adjective here, and it just refers to something that can be maintained at a certain rate or a certain level for a long time. We also use this when we talk about the environment, sustainable resources, things that that you can use again and again. You don't need to waste things and cause pollution.
Yeah, for example, wind power, that's sustainable. We're never going to run out of wind, people, unlike fossil fuels. So she set up this workshop back in 2013. She gives local women jobs, which is great. That's another byproduct of this. This is something else that results from her work there. She's able to employ local women, and they're making reusable sanitary pads out of natural cotton, which is a really good fiber if you're going to make these. These pads actually have a cute name. They're Love Lady pads. And they're made on non-electric sewing machines. Sewing machines that are powered by humans. I was talking to Tom about this earlier. My mom has her grandmother's, that's my great-grandmother's, old sewing machine in the house, and there's a pedal at the bottom, and instead of plugging in the sewing machine and turning it on, you actually have to use your feet and pedal, use that pedal at the bottom to get it to move. But it's actually very good. It sews very well. The seams, the stitches are very uniform, they're actually much better than Mom's electric sewing machine. Doesn't do all the fancy stuff, but who needs that? So these pads are not only reusable, they don't harm the environment because we're not throwing them out. They're not disposable.
Exactly. So they're not disposable like a lot of things are in modern society, disposable diapers or disposable razors or things like that. So this is good for the environment there. It doesn't fill up. What are those things called? Landfills?
Landfill.
It doesn't fill up landfills with a bunch of stuff that's just going to sit there forever.
They don't have to burn the trash either and, put all that stuff in the air that makes our air bad, the pollution.
Right, but I would assume that these pads, if they're reusable, they need to be thoroughly washed between uses.
Totally.
But in any case here, yes, they are made on these non-electric sewing machines. I don't know if that means they don't have electricity where these women live, if they live in the countryside, or if they're just trying to be environmentally friendly there. Moreover, or in addition, they are reusable. So again, as we said, they don't harm the environment. As well as giving Nepalese women jobs, Lynn also gives them a voice. So yes, she's giving them jobs, maybe to make these pads themselves on the sewing machines, maybe some other jobs as well. But she's also giving them a voice. She's giving them an opportunity to speak their mind, to talk to each other, to exchange information perhaps, so they don't have to be isolated in the cow barn. They can come out and talk to each other and stuff like that. Or they can make their voices heard in society.
Yeah, they can talk and learn about women's health together and pass this knowledge down to younger generations. Younger generations of women. So mothers passing this knowledge down to daughters, grandmas passing it down to grandchildren, things like that. You can pass lots of stuff down. In my family, we have this really old cookie jar that came from my great-grandma. Like the sewing machine, she had the sewing machine too. She passed it down to the first daughter in my grandma's family, which is my mom. She's the oldest. And then Mom packed that cookie jar up for me and has been keeping it for me when I get back to the States. It's really a treasure. You can pass down recipes, or you can just pass down traditions, things that your family did at Christmas or Guanyin that you want your kids to continue doing. You can pass that down.
So, yes, it could be things, but here we're talking about knowledge or information. And pass down is a two-word verb phrase that can be separated. Pass this knowledge down. You could also say pass down this knowledge. They are both acceptable. So these are passed down to younger generations, so they have this information, and they can break away from this long-standing tradition of keeping women at home during their periods and the appalling situation of putting them in cow barns when they're having their periods. That's kind of unacceptable.
It's horrible. Yeah. By the way, guys, you don't have to say cow barn. You can simply say barn.
Yep.
Barn is just for animals. It's never for humans. A lot of hay is kept there.
Or my grandma's barn did not have cows in it,
horses?
But we still call it a barn. No, it didn't have animals at all.
Yeah.
It was just junk. She kept all her junk in there.
Yeah, we kind of have a barn in my backyard at home. We don't have animals there, but lots of stuff to take care of the house and the yard. So things are certainly improving. Back in April 2017, the government passed a law that made this all illegal. For example, isolating women, putting them or confining them in barns. You can't do it. So what's more, Love lady pads that are being made there are not only used in Nepal, but also sold in Taiwan, the UK, the US, and elsewhere, spreading awareness of Lin's inspirational work. If something's inspirational, it really gives you a lot of ideas to go and do something in your own life. Lots of things can be inspirational. Sometimes music can inspire you. Sometimes it's other people's examples. They can be inspirational. Here we're talking about someone's example, the things she's doing.
I wonder where these can be purchased here. My wife or my daughter might be interested in using these reusable sanitary pads. It might help out the environment as well. But yes, indeed, they have them in Nepal and in Taiwan. So there you go. You've got Lin Niance, a local girl here, making her name known in the world on this BBC program, the 100 Women Project. Good on you. Okay, that brings us to the end of our program for today. Thank you for listening. But first, we're going to listen to our Chinese teacher one more time.
那我们继续再来看，提到这篇文章，林念慈这个女孩子呢，她当时在尼泊尔成立了一个机构。那这个 workshop 成立的时间是在2013，这个工作坊到底做什么呢？第一点，他雇用当地的女性，然后呢，他要她们用天然的棉花做可以重复使用的卫生棉。他给它一个名称，这个 Lovely Pads 它是用非电动的缝纫机制成的，所以它基本上在整个的过程里面，它有好几个环保的观念也好，让大家知道，而且为当地的女性得到一个工作的机会。好，那我们看到这一句话，这句话从 as well as 开始， as well as giving Nepalese women jobs, Lin also gives them a voice。这句话的 as well as 我们知道一般来说我们看到 as well as 是讲 A as well as B 而且要记得哦 A as well as B 讲的重点其实是 A 也就是说 A along with B 或者是 A in addition to B 但是重点在于 A那我们这里用 as well as 直接当开头好像这个连接词片语没有 A 了其实不是A 就在后面的主要句，而你可以在这里取代成 in addition to， 也就是除了说让尼泊尔当地的女性们有工作之外，好，重点来了就在后面，他还让他们可以发言。好，这个结构呢，我们要再往下做比较。因为如果往下读，大家就会发现他在介绍他所做这个 pads， 他说到 lovely pads 怎么样 are not only used in Nepal but also sold in Taiwan 好我们这里看到的 not only A but also B 这也是一个连接词的片语那要注意的就是说当你用 not only A but also B它的重点就在 B 也就是不光是 A 还有 B 所以它不但在尼泊尔有使用它呢事实上在台湾也有卖重点就在后面的 B好，今天的讲解就到这边结束，我们下次见。
Thanks for joining us, guys. As Tom always says, we hope your news is good news. We'll see you here next time. For English Digest, I'm Stephanie.
I'm Tom. Goodbye.
Bye.